Two Russian soldiers are seen moving in panic across a grassy field in the Zaporizhzhia direction. Both appear to be injured, their steps uneven and unsteady as they struggle to move forward. After reaching a dirt road near the edge of a forest, several other Russian soldiers quickly run toward them to help. The group supports the wounded men and begins guiding them back toward a nearby bunker, likely hoping to reach shelter and provide treatment. However, while the group is making its way toward the entrance, a Ukrainian bomber drone appears overhead and releases ammunition toward the soldiers. The initial strike forces several of them to fall to the ground, and one soldier appears unable to move after his leg is hit. Within moments, a few others rush back, grab hold of him, and drag him toward the bunker in an urgent attempt to pull him inside for cover. The following situation unfolds near a forest edge in the Donetsk direction, where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier moving cautiously among the trees. For several moments, he walks slowly through the wooded area, using the trunks and brush for cover. Suddenly, his pace changes. The soldier begins moving faster, weaving between the trees as he gradually works his way toward the outer edge of the forest. The movement does not go unnoticed. From above, the drone operator marks his position and relays the coordinates to a nearby Ukrainian drone unit. Within minutes, a strike drone is redirected toward the same forest line. Meanwhile, on the ground, the soldier reaches the edge of the trees and steps closer to a dirt road just outside the woodland. At that moment, the approaching drone locates him in the open and rapidly descends, closing the distance as it prepares to engage the moving target. The following situation unfolds near a heavily devastated area where repeated fighting has left buildings shattered and streets covered with debris. A Ukrainian drone detects a Russian soldier carrying a backpack, possibly containing equipment or supplies. The soldier quickly moves toward a ruined house and disappears inside, as if intending to hide or store the contents there. While continuing its surveillance, the drone soon notices another Russian soldier standing near a well beside the same damaged structure. He fills a container with water and leans against the wall, appearing to pause and drink. Moments later, something alarms him. He suddenly abandons his position and runs toward the ruined house in visible panic, disappearing inside the same building. Within seconds, a Ukrainian drone arrives over the structure and descends toward the target area. After the strike, the drone remains overhead for some time, carefully observing the building until no further movement is detected, before finally departing the area. The following encounter takes place along a frequently contested route near the Pokrovsk direction. A Ukrainian drone is conducting a routine patrol along the dirt road, scanning the surrounding terrain for any unusual movement. As the aircraft moves slowly over the area, the operator notices a Russian soldier standing completely still beside a tree. For several seconds, the soldier does not move, apparently hoping that remaining motionless will help him avoid detection from above. The drone gradually lowers its altitude and begins moving closer to confirm the sighting. Despite the soldier's attempt to stay perfectly still, the aerial view leaves little room for concealment. Once the position is clearly identified, the drone quickly accelerates forward and commits to the strike at the location where the soldier had remained standing. The following scene unfolds near a defensive position where a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone observes the entrance to a small underground shelter. A Russian soldier soon appears at the opening, raising a piece of white cloth above his head. After a moment, he slowly climbs out of the shelter and continues holding the cloth high while repeatedly lowering his head and pressing his hands together toward the drone watching overhead, as if trying to communicate his intentions. Moments later, instructions begin coming through a loudspeaker mounted on the drone. The soldier listens carefully and begins moving according to the directions given from above. Shortly afterward, another Russian soldier emerges from the same shelter entrance, also holding a white cloth raised high. After a brief exchange of signals with the drone, both men begin walking along a nearby tree line beside an abandoned agricultural field, carefully following the guidance being relayed to them. After walking for some time, one of the soldiers appears exhausted and briefly asks for permission to stop and smoke a cigarette, leaving the white cloth placed at his feet while he rests. Soon afterward, he continues moving again. Eventually, the two soldiers reach the designated location where a Ukrainian soldier is already waiting. After a short exchange, the Ukrainian serviceman escorts the two men back toward his unit's position. The following situation unfolds near a devastated area in the Pokrovsk direction. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone spots a Russian soldier lying on the ground beside a ruined house, apparently resting and unaware of the airspace above him. After the position is confirmed, a Ukrainian strike drone is directed to the location. Moments later, the aircraft descends rapidly and moves in to engage the soldier before he can react. The following moment unfolds near a forest edge, where a Russian soldier is seen quickly entering a small bunker dug into the ground. Moments later, the Ukrainian drone descends toward the position and strikes near the shelter entrance. After the initial impact, two Russian soldiers suddenly appear at the bunker opening and run in panic across the nearby ground. Within seconds, another Ukrainian drone approaches and launches a second strike in the same area. The disturbance forces additional movement. Shortly afterward, another Russian soldier emerges from the bunker and begins weaving through nearby bushes, attempting to escape the exposed position. He runs toward a second bunker, located not far away, and disappears inside, hoping to find cover. However, the movement is already tracked from above. A Ukrainian drone quickly redirects and descends toward the new shelter, striking the position moments after the soldier enters. The following situation unfolds over a grassy field where intense clashes have frequently taken place. A Ukrainian drone is assigned to patrol the area, scanning the terrain for any unusual movement. The aircraft flies slowly along a line of trees that borders the field. Once it reaches the end of the tree line, the drone turns outward and begins sweeping the open ground. From a distance, the operator notices a faint movement crossing the field. As the drone approaches and lowers its altitude, the shape becomes clearer. It is a Russian soldier moving across the exposed terrain. With little cover available, the soldier remains unaware of the aircraft closing in from above. The drone quickly adjusts its direction and descends toward the target, committing to the strike before the soldier has time to react. A bomber drone releases a munition beside the base of a tree. The drone releases a small munition that lands beside the position. After the initial strike, the soldier appears to be injured in the leg and remains on the ground, unable to immediately stand or move away. Instead of striking again immediately, the drone continues to circle overhead, carefully observing the soldier's movements. After some time, the soldier begins trying to push himself up as if preparing to escape. The drone quickly responds by releasing another munition toward the same location. The impact appears to worsen the situation, and it takes the soldier a long moment before he manages to slowly rise and attempt to move again. As soon as the drone detects renewed movement, another bomb is released. Despite the repeated strikes, the soldier still attempts to survive, dragging himself across the ground and pulling his body toward a nearby bush in search of cover. The drone continues tracking him from above and releases another munition into the vegetation. Once again, the soldier is still not neutralized. The drone continues circling overhead, closely watching his movements until he eventually lies completely still, as if pretending to be motionless. Moments later, the drone releases another munition toward the same position. Even after this strike, the soldier is still not fully subdued. At that point, he appears to lose patience and begins shouting loudly into his radio, repeatedly calling for assistance. Despite his attempts to contact support, no reinforcements arrive to help him. A Ukrainian drone drops a munition onto the entrance of a bunker and quickly departs the area. Moments after the initial strike, a Russian soldier cautiously emerges from the shelter, followed by a second man. As a third soldier climbs out of the bunker, another Ukrainian drone arrives overhead and releases an additional munition onto the same position. The sudden strike sends the soldiers into panic. They scramble out of the bunker and begin running through a nearby area filled with shattered debris and damaged structures, trying to reach open ground beyond the ruins. As they approach a line of trees that might offer cover, a drone drops another bomb directly along their path, cutting off their escape route. The soldiers abruptly change direction and continue running until they dive into a roadside bush, hoping to hide from the aircraft above. However, the drone quickly tracks their movement and releases another munition onto the position where they attempted to conceal themselves. The following situation unfolds on an abandoned agricultural field, where a Ukrainian drone detects an unusual object positioned among the tall weeds. From above, the shape resembles a small improvised shelter, likely used by Russian soldiers attempting to remain concealed under camouflage. The drone circles the area several times, carefully observing the structure and confirming suspicious activity around it. After completing the assessment, the operator directs the drone downward, and the aircraft rapidly closes in before striking the camouflage position.